Welcome back, adventurers. This is a Magic the Gathering pack opening stream. I have had this in the works for a while. It's taken a little bit to get it actually organized and get the equipment necessary to make it look good. We've done a little bit on stream before, and I know that that didn't look the best, so I'm hoping that this is a little bit of an upgrade, but this will be featured on the VOD channel. I'm excited to share it with you guys. Also, as a reminder, if you chat in the Twitch chat, you will show up live in the chat for this stream, and if you'd like to see this recorded live in the Discord, you can do that either via the Patreon or by boosting the Discord server with Nitro. So I don't want to keep us waiting, so I'm going to get us started. I have a lot, actually, well, I have a lot of stuff to open today, so let me lay it all out. We do have some special surprises. I need to make sure my mic is kind of close to the point that I can actually speak into it while I do this here. We do have the Sonic the Hedgehog secret lair, all 6 of them. Well, I guess technically 3 of them. There's the Chasing Adventure, Friends and Foes, and Turbo Gear, but then we also have them in foil, so we'll be doing that probably first because we know what's in those. So well, we know what's mostly in those. There's always the one surprise card in secret lairs, and that could be worth a lot, but otherwise we know essentially what is in those packs. So we'll just knock those out first to get them out of the way. Next up, I probably should have taken the price stickers off of these, but that's okay. I found a screaming deal on some theme boosters for the new Capenna set. So we've got some new Capenna boxes that we can open, as well as similarly some Ravnica to open. I need to get this bag to a more accessible place to share these things. So we've got 5 Capenna boxes. Looking at this, I'm thinking about this. There's a world in which we don't get into all of this today, but I'm gonna try. I think we can do it. I believe. And then last but not least, the original sets of what we were going to open today before I got all this. Oh, we found those extra little box packs things. We have 3 Lord of the Rings set boosters. 1, 2, 3. We have 2 Tarkir play boosters. We have 2 Innistrad Remastered play boosters. A sticker. We have, and then the big finale. We have 2 Innistrad Crimson. Blah, blah, blah. I should have done my voice exercises before I recorded today. We have 2 Innistrad Crimson Vow collector boosters and 3 Innistrad Remastered collector boosters. So these will be the finale. Of course, the collector boosters always have the craziest stuff, or at least the chance for the craziest thing. So we'll save those for last. Otherwise, where we go is going to be either, if we do have people here, I see Hermes, hello. If there are preferences, I will guide to whatever preferences are where as we go through. If not, then I will just go where the wind takes me, and we will see from there. So first things first, we'll start. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. All right. So we'll start with, I said we'll start with the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff because we do know what's in that, and so that'll make it the easiest to knock out. And also because we do know that there is at least 1 special card per, we could still get a big surprise. But also I get to highlight, I of course had to do the Sonic secret lair because first off, anybody who's watched the stream knows that there are 3 games that got me into gaming, and eventually I guess by the fact that it got me into gaming also then technically led me into content creation, right? If I had not played those 3 games, I would not have gotten into gaming, and if I'd never gotten into gaming, I never would have created content. So those 3 games are Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and Super Mario World. And the reason being is those 3 games were the 3 games that were available at the daycare center that my parents dropped me off at when I was about 4. Both my parents worked. They could not watch me during the day. That's kind of cool. A little odd, but cool, I guess. And they had a old Sega Genesis and one of the NES, SNES world of consoles. I don't remember because I was 4. But I learned to play games off of those consoles. And those were the 3 games that at 4 I could understand and actually play with any sort of competence. And I fell in love with video games. And here I am. So, let's see how this looks. Hopefully this is better than last time. It looks a lot smoother. So we've got Super State. It's an aura. Enchant creature. We've got Knuckles, of course. We have Amy, who out of everyone in this, I know nothing about Amy. Amy is one I know literally nothing about. I know she's a recent character addition. We got Dr. Eggman, of course. Dr. Robotnik himself. Which I am tempted to make a deck with Dr. Egg. Oh, you know what I should do? I was told last time that when we open packs, I should lay out cards as I reveal them so that it's clear what's in the pack. So I need to do that. So this is one that I'm tempted to make a deck out of. Dr. Eggman, I feel like would be fun, but I need a lot of construct robots or vehicles, and I definitely know I have no vehicles. Miles Tails Prower, which for anyone who doesn't know, Miles Prower is a play on the words miles per hour, which is hilarious. Shadow, of course. I need to... You know what I should do is I should flip the phone. I feel like this is really far right. Oh well, we'll play it out. And of course Sonic. And then the Master Emerald Shrine. So this is what we are probably going to expect from most of these. This is the one that's most available. If at any point we get something that's not in Master Emerald Shrine, there may be a freak out. Because the Chaos Emeralds, my understanding, is they are worth quite a bit. We'll scan stuff in. Honestly, I think we'll scan stuff in by set. So we'll do all of the Secret Lair stuff, and then we'll scan and see what we get. Because, for example, we know that this next one is going to be all these same cards, just foil, right? The Secret Lairs are fixed results, except for this last card, which, as we know, this one's the Master Emerald Shrine. It could be something different. So I will scan all those in together. And that'll probably be the most efficient way to do it. Because we don't know the value of these things until we scan them in. And of course, I keep a pretty meticulous record of all of my cards. I'm excited about making sure that I know what I've got in each. Especially considering that Magic is an expensive hobby. And I want to be cognizant of what I have and don't. So, as we said, here are all the foil versions of those same cards. These are just all going to be hollow versions of that same pack we just opened. But in this case, we don't know what the last card is. A Master Emerald Shrine, as expected. So, that's going to be pretty common. Here's what we'll do. We'll gather all these up. We know this is one set. We'll scan this in real quick and we'll see what the values are. We have also, from last time, figured out that having it on white helps it scan in a lot faster, because the white allows it to pick up the card quicker. So the base is for this one is 921. 958. These are almost $10 a card, which is pretty crazy. Oh, this one's 123. Okay, that makes sense. I feel like she's less popular. Dr. Eggman, 130. That's surprising, actually, that he is that low. 83 cents for Miles Tails Prower. That's insane. Sonic's almost $5. Or, I'm sorry, Shadow's almost $5. Sonic is only $2.60. And then a Master Emerald Shrine, which is foil. It auto-detected it was foil. That's nice. Okay, this one I have to edit to... Oh! You know what I need to do? Is clear my previous scans so I can enter them all in at once. That was my mistake. I thought I'd done that already. No, it's just for YouTube. No one will know. Alright, so then this one has to be foil. Then we'll just do some quick taps. Foil. It seems like the foil is adding about $1 worth. These cards. Which makes sense, they're a limited run. Secret Lairs, for anyone who doesn't know, Secret Lairs are a special, essentially a specialized release of, rather than being like a full set, they're a very limited run. They only print a certain amount. And it's first come, first serve, the same way that you'd buy like a ticket to a concert or something like that. And once they're gone, they're gone. So of course, when this was publicized as a set, and the fact that Sonic holds such a dear place to my heart in terms of setting me on this path, naturally that was something that I had to take advantage of while I could. So, just out of curiosity, we're looking at somewhere in the ballpark, I think, of like $50 from just those two Secret Lair packs. We'll see how the rest of this goes. So this one is the Chasing Adventure pack, which is going to be some of our like more traditional Magic cards that are printed with the theme of Sonic. So Secret Lairs, you usually get reskinned versions of other cards as these as what fits in this world. Sometimes you do get true original. Like, I don't think that Sonic, actually it should tell us. Yeah, like these characters are not reskinned. These are original cards. Whereas some of these other cards are actually cards that already exist in Magic, but they just are themed. So we've got Generous Gift, Open the Armory, Fabricate, Deadly Dispute. Actually, Deadly Dispute is a card that I have in some of my decks already. Unexpected Windfall, Soul Ring, of course. This is a staple in pretty much every Commander deck. A Treasure Token as a ring, and another Master Emerald Shrine. So nothing crazy. We'll lay those out so everyone can see. And what we'll do is we'll stack these up and we'll scan both these and the foil ones in at the same. Actually, you know what? Now I think about it, I have to edit the foil ones, so I might as well just scan them in one by one now. It's probably the easiest way to do this. All right, so let's see what we're looking at. 175. For reference, about 30 cents. That one's 230. 30 cents is your average card. So this one's almost $5. These are very 250. These are very high value compared to your normal cards, mostly because they're the limited printing. 253. I'm curious about the Soul Ring. Let's see. $15.39. I think that's the most expensive one that we have so far. These treasure tokens. Normally tokens aren't worth anything. That's almost a $4 token. And then of course another Master Emerald Shrine. So those are all scanned in. And then this is going to be that same set that we just opened, except it's going to be foil for all of these. So they'll probably be worth slightly more. Generally speaking, foils are worth more than their non-foil counterparts. There are exceptions where sometimes if the foil is more common, for example, if there's a card that shows up in a precon deck, for example, where the precon always has that card as foil, that particular version of the foil card might be worth less than just finding the card out in the wild without any foil on it. Knocking things over. Don't mind me. Oh, that is generally how this works. So we've got another generous gift. Open the armory again. Fabricate. Deadly dispute. Unexpected windfall. Soul ring. Treasure token. And another Master Emerald Shrine. So far no luck on the kind of special pulls in terms of we're going to get a lot of Master Emerald Shrines. So as I mentioned, these are limited prints. They have more value because of the fact that they're limited print, but you also have a couple, they will generally publicize what is in a secret lair. You know what you're getting when you buy it. The exception is there's always one card, in the same way that regular packs, generally speaking, you have every card in a pack is random, of course, but you usually have one mythic or one rare in almost every pack. Sometimes you'll have more if you're very, very lucky, but generally speaking, every pack is guaranteed either one mythic or one rare, and that's usually where the value from that pack comes from. Secret lairs are no different in the sense that they publicize what's in the secret lair. Curious about this actually. So we said that this is 1539 non-foil. It's 2620 foil. Bonkers. And this was a $3 token, 382 with foil. It's 542. So with the secret lairs, they always have you know what you're getting in the pack as a whole, but there's always one extra card, and that one extra card isn't revealed until everyone actually gets their secret lairs. They do not tell you what the bonus cards are going to be. And the bonus cards will be one of a couple that they did not announce, but they are also divided by rarity in sense of, so these Master Emerald Shrines are a reskin of command towers, which command towers are another staple in Commander. But the grand majority of packs have command towers. That's like the common hidden card in these packs. Whereas there's a chance we might get something much rarer like a Chaos Emerald. And if we get a Chaos Emerald, that's going to be worth a great deal more. But the odds of us getting it are lower, is essentially how it works. All right, so we've got, these are the turbo gear. This is all going to be like equipment. So we've got Knuckles gloves. We've got air shoes, which is essentially Swiftfoot boots. Oh yeah, when we were talking about how these are reskins of previous cards. So this is called the Reaver Cleaver in a normal Magic. The normal Magic calls it called the Reaver Cleaver or Swiftfoot boots, but it's air shoes because Sonic, or like Mere Battlesphere is the Egg Hammer. The Pico Pico Hammer is the Hammer of Nazan. They're hard to read small when it's far away. Power Sneakers are Lightning Greaves. Lightning Greaves are very good. Weatherlight is Tornado Sonic's biplane. We've got an Egg Pawn Mirror and another Master Emerald Shrine. Damn, so far not having a great deal of luck with the random card. 5 for 5 Master Emerald Shrines. Here's hoping that the last one we get a big reveal that would be fun. If not, we've got plenty more packs to open. And honestly, these are still very cool, and I'm glad that I got them. If no other reason to collect, and but I'm very tempted to make a Sonic deck out of something here. We'll see. I need to look more at. This is a $9.15 card just as is. The foil's gonna be worth even more. $3.21 for those. 69 cents. $10.07. $4.78. $1.15. $1.08. And then of course our Master Emerald Shrine at $1.05. There is a world in which I want to make a Sonic deck. I don't know which of these. I don't know if I would go with Dr. Eggman, if I would go with Sonic himself, if I'd go with like Shadow or Knuckles as the commander. I feel like it would probably have to be Sonic, Eggman, or Knuckles, because Shadow came later, and at least what's special to me is, like I said, that first game. Sonic is what got me in. Sonic is the one that got me into gaming, but Shadow did not exist when that game was popular. Neither did Amy. So they're probably the lowest interest for me in terms of making something. All right. So again, we know what we've got here. We've got the foil of Knuckles gloves, air shoes, egg hammer, Pico hammer, power sneakers, tornado sonic spy plane, egg pawn, and the moment of truth, a Master Emerald Shrine. All right, fair enough. So no big reveals for the secret layers. Unfortunate. It does happen. We still got a lot of value out of these secret layers, as you can see. Let's see what the foils do for us here. So actually, is this an instance I was talking about? So this is actually an instance I was talking about where the foil is actually slightly cheaper than the regular. The regular is $9.15. The foil is $9.09. So we'll see how many of those, but this is higher value. Generally speaking, they're going to increase. There's always exceptions, depending on a variety of factors that sometimes are clear and sometimes, frankly, are not. Like that one went down. Sometimes it's an art preference thing. Sometimes it's how common the card is or how in demand it is for different sets. Sometimes it's how valuable it is to a format or a specific deck archetype. And predicting those trends is very difficult to do. All right. So, a lot of command towers. We've got a lot of... If I do want to make a Sonic deck, I can give other people command towers for Sonic himself. So, those are all pretty high value. I'm going to set those aside to be bindered here in a bit. And I think overall that added about $220 to the collection, I believe. Ish. I am estimating. All right. Next up, so now we're getting into options. So we've got our 3 New Capennas, which New Capenna is essentially the Art Deco setting. It is very Bioshock. We've got Guilds of Ravnica, which Ravnica is, why am I blanking? Yes, that's what I thought. Ravnica is essentially Hogwarts. Think of Ravnica as your fantasy fantasy wizard school setting. That is an option. Oh, what did I just do? All right, cool. I fixed it. And then, of course, we've got our individual packs. We've got our 3 Lord of the Rings. We've got our 2 Tarkir Dragon boosters. And we've got our 2 Innistrad Remastered play boosters. Lord of the Rings, of course, self-explanatory. Tarkir Dragonstorm being like dragons and monks. And then Innistrad being vampires, ghosts, werewolves. Do we have a preference? Hermes looking at you. If you don't have a preference, Ravnica. Sick. So then we will start with the Ravnica. We have the Boros is red-white, and we've got Selesnya, which is the green-white. Do you have a preference on which to start with from those 2 subsets? We've got 3 of the Selesnya and 2 of the Boros. Red-white. Done. So, well, I'm setting this up. I'll talk about color identity. So there are 5 colors in Magic. There's red, white, blue, black, and green. And each has a kind of theme that they operate around. White tends to be healing, purity, virtue, regimented justice. If you play League of Legends, it tends to be very Demacia style, soldiers, formations, governments, the whole bit. How do I even open these? Whereas, for example, green tends to be primal nature, the growth, brutality, and strength of natural forces, beasts, etc. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so these are packs. Holy, how many cards do these have in them? 35 cards. Well, we're not going to be able to fit all 35 cards on this little slip, so we're going to see how this goes. How many minutes are we in? With 30 minutes? I don't think we're going to get through all these cards, friends. We'll get through what we can. So, yes, green tends to be primal, strength of nature, growth. Blue tends to be magic, manipulation, planning, thought, intellectual prowess, trickstery. Red tends to be fury, anger, growth in numbers, mobs, fire, chaos. And then black tends to be sacrifice for power, success by any means, decay, etc. So let's start laying these out. So we got a Wojek bodyguard. Hey, this is very exciting. I'm working on a Minotaur deck, and this is one of the boys I need for it. That's so fun. I'm very excited about that find. All right, Barging Sergeant. Goblin Banneret. So you'll notice that like all of these reds are kind of like chaos or aggressive, fast violence. Torch Courier. A Boros Locket. Boros Guildgate. 2 different Boros Guildgates. Are these different? These are different arts of the same card. Cool. Glaive of the Guild Pact. I like that card. It's pretty. And then here, I will lay those out to be seen. Since this is a lot of cards, I want to make sure that we can appreciate each one individually and also where they came from. So we'll start setting these aside and keep going. Fire Urchin. An elemental with trample that's a 1 is kind of crazy. Oh, but it gets bigger. Interesting. A Hunted Witness. Another Fire Urchin. Skyline Scout. Goblin Locksmith. You just... That's so funny, actually. Look at the art on that. He's got more finesse than most goblins. He smashes windows with his fists rather than his forehead. That's so funny. Amazing. I love that, actually. That'd be such a cool character concept. Blade Instructor. Fearless Halberdier. And Parhelion Patrol. It's a human knight riding a what? What is that? I can't even tell. It's some kind of griffiny bird thing. All right, so we'll look at that. I will say, if anyone is a D&D player, obviously Wizards owns D&D and Magic both. But what I will say is that, actually, you know what I should do? Hold up. If I zoom, is this too much? No, that's great. We should just do this. We're learning, chat. Look at us improving. And then I don't have to hold it up so high. Anyway, Wizards owns both Magic and D&D. And they also employ the grand majority of fantasy artists in the world. And the generally the best fantasy artists in the world. If you're ever looking for inspiration for D&D, Magic cards is a great place to start. Another Barging Sergeant. We'll take that. That's exciting. We've got 2 of them. Take Heart. Sure Strike. Luminous Bonds. Another Barging Sergeant. Well, I was excited. Now we've got a lot of them. Collar the Culprit. Rubble Belt Boar. That's a tongue twister. And a Sky Knight Legionnaire. Yeah, this actually looks way better. Well, we should have done this. I should have done this earlier. This way we can see each card as we pull it out. I don't have to hold them up and then place them down. This seems very much the play. All right, next up. Hammer Dropper. Fresh-Faced Recruit. True Fire Captain. Swath Cutter Giant, which is just a cool name. Sky Knight Legionnaire again, another Hammer Dropper. Silent Dart. That's kind of cool. Very Assassin's Creed. And then this is a double card, Integrity and Intervention. Here, I'll turn it so you guys can read it. So these are, you get to choose which one you use. But they count as one card, which is cool. All right. But yes, you'll see that, like, generally all these white cards, these are like organized military, right? The red is like the violence, the power, but the white is the organized aspect of the military. These are regimented soldiers. These are trained. These aren't mercenaries for hire. We've only got 3 left. Justice Strike, Legion Guildmage, and an Erratic Cyclops. Cyclops is one that I'd like to make a deck for. I don't think that there's enough of them in Magic to truly take advantage of them. But that is one thing I'd like to do. So let's scan these bad boys in. And then we'll do the other pack and see where we're at. We're currently at about 33 minutes, which isn't terrible. So let's scan and see where things take us. So Wojek Bodyguard is 14 cents. Barging Sergeant is 4 cents. Makes sense with how many of them we found. Goblin Banneret is 5 cents. Torch Courier is 10 cents. Boros Lock is 15 cents. Boros Guildgate is 11 cents. I'll set this aside because it's a land. The other one is 17 cents, so the second art is more valuable, it looks like. Glaive of the Guild Pact, 13 cents. Fire Urchin is 7 cents. I need to actually make sure it's from the right. set, which it doesn't appear to be. There we go, fixed. Oh, I thought it was fixed. I didn't hit save. One thing that you do want to do when you are doing these types of scans is make sure that your set is correct. And the reason for that is because it may have a different value depending on what set it's from. Some of them are rarer printings. So in general, you always want to make sure that you match the correct set. 11 cents. I also will say, I know I said actually that earlier that I think 30 cents is the average. That was also before I switched to using trading card player as the market value. I think it might be lower there, but I'm not 100% sure because I'm still new to it. Card Kingdom, it tended to be 30 cents, but Card Kingdom, if you use that as your supplier for market, Card Kingdom tends to be a little bit of a higher price because they have a little bit more direct control over their shipping and stuff. And so you're not dealing with as many random suppliers as you are with Trading Card Player. They're both great for different reasons. But they price things fairly differently market-wise. I do think that Trading Card Game Player tends to be a more direct representation of value, even though it is lower. So if you want to feel good about your collection, you could always price it for Card Kingdom, but be aware that that's probably only the price if you sold all of your cards on Card Kingdom, which may or may not be a value you actually realize, versus if you want to be a little bit more realistic, even though it might be a little bit harsher of a reality, Trading Card Game Player's market value is probably more accurate. Most of these cards are less than 10 cents a card. Haven't really seen anything particularly stand out. Which isn't too big a deal. I do wish, because it allows you to scan in multiple cards at once, I do wish it told you like the total value of the scan that you're sitting on, though. That would be very nice. Unfortunately, it does not do that. 15 cents. And then this is the one rare, I think. 7 cents. Two. Actually, 12 when I put in the right set. All right, so pretty much all of these. Let me make sure I didn't miss any lands. I didn't think I did. There's some artifacts and stuff, but I think I got all the lands out. I like to keep my lands separate because lands can go in almost any deck. I'm also going to set aside the Battle Sergeant because, or the Barging Sergeant, because that's what I'm making a deck for. So pretty much all of those are just going to go in my value box. None of them are worth anything that requires sleeving or anything like that. Unlike the secret layers are going to be sleeved and bindered pretty immediately following recording. Whereas these are going to be put, I basically have a organization system for all of my value cards. That way, I know where everything is, and if there's a deck that I want to make that I need to find a specific card, I can find where I stored it. But also, if at any point I want to get rid of a bunch of my bulk, I can just take a box to a game store and be like, hey, hello. I can just take a box to a game store and sell that bulk accordingly. So we're probably going to see a lot of repeats now. Considering that most of these are pretty common. Won't spend too much time sitting on these unless we see something crazy, new, or different. I do think that this next one we didn't see. It is still a common, so it's probably not worth anything crazy. But still, different is different. A garrison sergeant. Also, sworn companions seems new. Intrusive pack beast. Maniacal rage. Okay, we do have some new stuff in here. Righteous blow. Another fresh-faced recruit. Fresh-faced recruit. I still will say the maniacal rage looks cool. They tell us the wilds are ours and they brick them over. They can lie to our faces but not to our fists. That's awesome. In the Legion, no flagpole is merely decorative and every ceremonial sword bears an edge. See, that's the red. White would have ceremonial swords for the sake of ceremonial swords. Red is the fact that they're sharp. Candlelight Vigil. Command the Storm. I would not be surprised if this gets reprinted in the Avatar set. They have an Avatar set coming out soon. This feels like that would fit there, especially as a red card. Asda Marshal. We're getting some new stuff here and there. None of this bottom row is new. I can pick up cards. That'd be great. Justice Strike, Legion Guildmage, Boros Challenger. A lot of soldiers. If you want to do a like soldier tribal, red white is a great one to do it. A gargoyle, gatekeeper gargoyle is cool. For each gate you control. I do think making a gate themed deck could be very fun. I feel like gates are such a odd and unique mechanic that having a gate deck could be just kind of silly and cool. And also, who doesn't love gargoyles? Gargoyles are sick. Ultimately, I think, ooh, what's this? Pagic Legion's Edge. Seems cool. Could be a commander. We'll find out. Basically what I've determined is at first I wanted to make kind of themed decks based off of, like, I wanted to try for a Greek mythology deck, for example. What I've learned is it might be a lot easier to just make like cool tribal decks of creatures that I like. So I'm working on a Minotaur deck. I think my one after that's going to be Hydra. Goblins, satyrs. But a gate deck could be cool. I don't know how many creatures specifically, though, are gate focused. That is a world that I do not know. And so I'd be interested to see. But again, potentially something to investigate. Could be a fun thing. And there were a lot of gates in, of course, the Baldur's Gate set. They leaned into a bunch of different gates as features in that set. And so I ended up with a chunk of gates when we did the Baldur's Gate booster box on stream. Although or was it a draft box? I don't remember. It was a booster box of some kind. And so there's a world in which that could be in my future. I also know there are some fun and unique gate cards of like, if you control this amount of gates, different effects occur. And that just sounds like a fun time. That sounds like a potentially interesting concept. And what is Magic, or any game really, if it's not for the fun, you know, the creativity aspect? So far, haven't spotted anything crazy. But I'll be honest, these are the first I've never done these theme boosters before. I don't know how valuable theme boosters are. It seems like, from what I'm gathering, they are more to expand your base cards in a set than to provide any particular cards of high value. But I'm also still learning. I'm definitely not an expert in this. So please don't take my word as gospel. These are purely my observations. I'd love to actually hear your guys' thoughts in the comments if you've made it this far, or if you know about these things. I am fairly new to the world of Magic, and I also know that there's a lot of like change occurring in the world of Magic, with the Universes Beyond expansions and Commander kind of starting to overshadow Standard. So a 30-cent card. So that one will be one that I end up sleeving. I should make sure it's the right version though before I do that. 204. Yep, 30 cents. Cool. So I'll end up sleeving that one. Actually, you know what I need to do is I should add everything to my value box except that last card, and then I should just individually scan that last card and add it to my binder, since that is where that one will be going. Boop, done. All right. That is all of our Boros stuff. We're at 47 minutes, so we are getting kind of close to, I think, a stopping point. This is definitely more cards than I anticipated. So, what do we have left? We'll do one more set. We've got our Guilds of Ravnica boxes. We've got 3 of those. We've got New Capenna, which we've got 2 of these red, black, green, and we've got 1 green, white, blue. So here I'll do. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is a great idea, and now I'm like, oh, there's not a lot of room to display things when I get to these choices, but probably I shouldn't have as many options as I do too. So we've got 3 Lord of the Rings. We've got 2 Tarkir Dragonstorm. I'll do this. We've got 2 Innistrad Remastered. Or, you know what we could do is we do have 2 of the collector boosters for Innistrad Crimson Vow, and we have 3 of the Innistrad Remastered. I'll throw this into the mix, and we'll save this one as the finale for all of them. But there's a world in which we use this as our last set for this video, and we save the rest for the next video. So, do we want to try and end on a bang with the collector boosters, or do we want to do another set from one of these other things? What are we feeling? Isn't Crimson Vow also vampires? So yeah, so basically Innistrad, both of these are just different sets of Innistrad, but Innistrad is the setting. Here, I'll put it over here so it's a little easier. Innistrad is the setting of its vampires, vampires, werewolves, and ghosts, generally speaking, depending on which part of Innistrad you're focusing on in the set. You'd save both of the finales for the second video. We can save the video for that. Like, that can be the end of the second video. So then the question becomes, out of these ones left on the table, because there is, I guess, so then you probably want to remove the play boosters of Innistrad as well, I presume. Yeah. All right. So then we'll save all the vampires for next time. So to end today, we've got more Ravnica. We've got technically 3 new Capennas. We've got 2 red, green, black, and 1 green, white, blue. We've got 3 Lord of the Rings and 2 Tarkir Dragonstorms. What suits your fancy? Going once. Going twice. Another Ravnica. All right, then we'll just knock out all the Ravnica today. And I'll save. I'll see if maybe I can record the other set tomorrow. All right. So these are Selesnya. They're white, green. And there's 3 of these. So it's going to take a little bit longer than the red, white, because we've got 1 more to do. But I think if we've learned anything from the red, white, most of these are going to be bulk. With the exception of maybe a random kind of luck of the draw value find for any of these. But I will say it is a relief to get these out of the boxes and get some room back to my storage. All right. So first things first. So these again are the kind of magic casting wizarding school style set. But these are going to be a different theme. They're going to be green, white, so it's going to be a lot of nature and purity based stuff. So pause for reflection. Oh, why am I doing this so high? You can just see down here. Pause for reflection. Tax favor. So this is what we're talking about in terms of like nature and strength of nature. Another hunted witness. Circuitous route. Selesnya guild gate. So here we're getting another gate. We're getting 2 different gates, different arts. Another glaive of the guild pact and another pause for reflection. We ourselves will pause for reflection. And we'll let this on by. Whoop. I'll be honest, I'm a little bummed we weren't able to get a Chaos Emerald out of the Sonic set, but oh well. Healer's Hawk. Bird deck is something that I absolutely will eventually be making. A Centaur Peacemaker's cool. Horn Companions, Generous Stray, Intrusive Pack Beast, and Siege Worm. Worms are also pretty cool. There is a world in which Tot ends up with a cat deck too. I feel like that's something that you would like to do. I don't know how many centaurs there are. Making a centaur deck could be cool. But that's something that I would have to look in to see if there's even enough to make. Ooh, I'm seeing someone at the end. That might be a cool card. We got a Grappling Sundew. Rock Charger, another bird. A Crowl Harpooner. An insect warrior. Harpooner, I barely even know her. Don't worry, it's just YouTube. No one will know. God, you can really tell how hairy my arms are when it's this close to the camera. Things you don't generally see on stream. My hairy-ass Greek arms. All right, Flight of the Equinauts. Conclave Cavalier, a Centaur Knight. Rampaging Monument. It's an artifact creature cleric. That's so sick. And it's a monument that gets bigger as you cast more spells. That's super cool, actually. I love the flavor of that. Sumala Wood Shaper, an elf druid. Rosemane Centaur. I think I'm answering my Centaur question with this pack. World Soul Colossus. Some of these are cool. Vernati Shieldmate. So very high magic setting, as you can tell. Elementals, Colossus, Pegasus, Centaurs. Wand of Vertebrae. You heard me right. I'm actually just gonna, terrifying. Rosemane Centaur. And Amara, Soul of the Accord, an elf cleric who looks straight out of Lord of the Rings, but she's not. She's from Ravnica. So, let's scan these bad boys in. We'll save her for last because I think that she's going to be the one that seems to be worth the most. $0.03. 15 cents. Seems to be a flexible artifact. Light of the Equinox is 11 cents, but let me put in the right set. We'll see if that adjusts it. It is 4 cents. Worse. Bummer. 9 cents. I'm curious about Rampaging Monument. 11 cents. Okay. Nothing crazy. 5 cents. Another Rosemane Centaur. Luminous Bonds, we know is not a lot. World Soul Colossus. 7 cents. Vernati Shieldmate is in the wrong set. If we put it to the right one, it is 2 cents. 4, 9, 3, 4, 4, 6. Wrong set, but after correction. 5. Wrong set, but after correction. There's a lot of printings. 14. 4. I was gonna say I thought I saw Healer's Hawk before. It was in the box that we opened. 12 cents. This one goes way down, we know. Centaur Peacemaker is 5. 6. 10, probably because it's just a cat and people like cats. 4 cents. Siege Worm might be something. It's not. Well, it's the wrong set. Let's see. 8 cents. Pause for reflection. 9 cents. 4 cents. 11. 43. Oh, wrong set. Let's see. 44 cents. So we'll sleeve that bad boy. I'll set it aside and rescan it here in a second. This is a lot of printing. 7 cents. It's a land, so we separate it. 7 cents. It's land, so we separate it. 13. 9. And then last but not least, 25. So she actually ends up in bulk. She did not make the cut for the 30. So all of these are going to go in my bulk box, except this one, which, when corrected, goes into binder. Wonderful. I'm just gonna need to make a Ravnica section in my box. I definitely don't have one yet, but this is turning into a meaty pile. And so I'm gonna have to make sure that there's room for it. All right, we got 2 left, which is good. We're at about the hour mark. So we'll start winding down. We'll get these last 2 Ravnicas out of the way, and then we'll save the rest for tomorrow, question mark? Hope to record tomorrow. We'll see when all this goes up to be shared. All right. Selesnya Locket, another Guild Gate, Tax Favor, an Iron Shell Beetle. We're getting into some bugs. Pause for Reflection, Lendev Guardian. Let me line this up a little bit better. Vernati, Shieldmate, and Siege Worm. So some new ones already. Beetles, Lockets. This Guardian riding a wolf. But just wait, there's more. Because we've got an inspiring unicorn, an affectionate Indrik, which, tell me this isn't a dinosaur. It says beast, but that's a dinosaur, right? Am I crazy? Looks like a dinosaur. Gird for Battle, Sprouting Renewal, Demotion, Circuitous Route. We know that one's with value, so we're going to end up sleeving that. Loxodon Restorer. Loxodons, for anybody who doesn't know, are elephant people in the worlds of D&D and Magic. Honestly, you know what I can do? Is I can just sidestep and put this one in and go into my collection. And just put a 2. And now that one's already sorted. Wondrous. Hunted Witness. Devkarin Dissident. Skyline Scout. Hithclaw Recluse. It's a spider. One Companion. Generous Stray. World Soul Colossus. Another dual card. Flower and Flourish. I do love the dual cards, how they're almost always word plays on each other. It is 100% a dinosaur. I agree. Yes, double cards are almost always word plays on each other, and or if they're in specific sets. Like I know there's a Doctor Who set out there. One of the duels is not a play on words, but it is a specific moment from the show that's like a powerful decision. That it's both sides of that decision, which I think is a very cool concept. These we've all seen before. Another Gatekeeper Gargoyle. Except maybe the Ladev Champion. I don't know if you've seen the Ladev Champion or not. Then our last few. Venerated Loxodon. So, let's scan them in and see how we do. I'll see how quick I can go. Generous Stray is 10 cents, as we said, probably because it's a cat. Caller the Culprit is 4. Enclave Cavaliers 9. 5 cents for the champ. Oh, we did have the champ. Or I guess, I don't know. Did I put that on top or did I put it on bottom? That was the same one that we just said. Never mind. 8. We know this is going to be down to 2 when we put in the right set. 5. 11 and 9. 2. 4. 6. Give me an 8. That'd be hilarious. No, it's gonna be 10. We skipped 8. 7. Duel is 7. Now we need another 7. 9. Damn. No slots for us. That one is the wrong set. Let's put in the right one. See what it says. Same cost at 4. Gird for battle is 7 cents, which unfortunately no loin should be girded with a 7-cent card. Crowning renewal is also 7 when put in the right set. 9 cents for demotion. Locket is 10 cents. Here we're going to get to the gates. That one's 7. We'll put it in our land pile. So far, nothing crazy. Pretty much everything. So I think what we're learning is that themed boxes definitely seem to be mostly bulk cards. It's more about you like the setting, or you need specific staff cards for that setting than it is about finding anything of value. So that makes sense why they were kind of on a steal in terms of what I normally know about pack prices. But now we know. Well, wrong set. Let's see. Probably not going to be a drastic difference. 13 cents. All right. So, one last Ravnica pack. And then we're done for the day, chat. So, ooh. Little rendering lag. That was strange. All right. Open up this last bad boy. We did get one good one out of that pack. We got that circuitous route, which was worth. So actually, every single Selesnya Ravnica pack we've opened has had a circuitous route, which is like the one card of value in it. I'd be curious to see if these broke even or not, though, actually. Because on the one hand, 35 cards. On the other hand, I'm not sure they break even. We shall see. All right, another Selesnya Locket, another Guildgate, Siege Worm, Restorer. We've seen all these before, nothing terribly new or different. So I'll do a quick glance and we'll move forward. This one's new, 10th District Guard, Wary Okapi, it's an antelope. A wild Ceratok, it's a rhino, cool rhino too. No abilities though, so probably not going to be worth a whole lot. Prey Upon. Some new ones are showing face. At least it's not all run-of-the-mill, same old every pack. Righteous Blow, Urban Utopia, Candlelight Vigil again, Crushing Canopy, Asda Marshall, District Guide is new, Elf Scout, another Inspiring Unicorn, Grenadier Shieldmane. We've got some potential options here. We've got some new stuff we haven't seen. We'll see how it shapes out. Another Wand of Vertebra. Rosemane Centaur. Flower Flourish. Join Shields is new. Another Wary Okapi. Centaur Pacemaker. Samala Woodshaper. And a Vernati Shieldmate. Then we're down to our last 3. We'll see how they shape up. It seems like the last card is always the one that seems to be the closest value, or like the guaranteed highest value, other than the securities routes. We've got Conclave Guildmage, Conclave Cavalier, Guildmage's Forum. It is a land. That's cool. And is a that actually could be worth something. We'll see. we'll see how it shapes up. So let's see what we got. Oh, I didn't actually add the last set to my bulk, so now I can. All right. 9 cents. 15. 3. 7. 2. 5. 5. That's the one that goes significantly down. It is a bummer because it shows me 13 and then I change it to the right set. It goes down to 2, which I feel like is a pretty steep dive, but I guess to the point we mentioned earlier, it must be rarer in the other printing than it is in this printing. Crushing Canopy. Well, 14 for Hasda Marshall. That's not terrible. And for District Guide. Have some semi options here. 9 for Unicorn. 2 for the Shieldmate again. Oh. Peacemaker's 5. Beetle is 7. We don't know about 10th District Guard. 6. Copy is 2. Guardian is 3. Ceratok is 4. Loxodon is 5. Prey Upon if you're 6. We're on a streak. 4. We're going back down. Selesnya Locket for 3. That's a 10. Guildgate is, we know, a land. Where's the right one? There it is. Siege Worm again. So far, all stuff we've seen. We know that this one's going to be one I have to change the set on. Here's new. 12. And last but not least, 31. So that one will be sleeved up. So what I'll do is I will remove that, set it aside. We'll add all of these to our box 2. And we did end on a sleever. That's at least good news. Look at in those 3 packs. This is all Ravnica. So, as you can tell, bulk boxes fill up pretty quick. The nice thing is I have them sorted and I know they're the exact value per box. So if I do ever want to get rid of all of them, I can just take in that whole box and be like, hey, this box is worth, yeah, this, you say, damn, this is literally, these are those 5 packs. So, well, the box packs, the theme boosters. So this is the 2 red whites and the 3 green whites are all in this. Which is why you'll see here, let me actually go back out. That's the roof. You'll see that's why I have these bad boys, is so I can just sort accordingly. Like, for example, right? All of these gates are going to go in the land section. We've got land. And then I need to make a Ravnica divider and stuff it in there, and then I'll sleeve up the rest. Oh, actually, you know what I should do? We have 3 we have a slight bonus. I have a couple loose cards that I need to scan. That will just throw in here for funsies. So, Soul of Migration is 4 cents. Shatter the Oath is 4 cents. Vampiric Rites is 19 cents. And Shared Animosity is $1.75. So we will put these into our box. We'll put this one into our binder. But that should do it. So essentially what's going to happen now is I'm going to make a little divider for the big old stack of Ravnica I've got here and put it into this box. And then I'm going to sleeve up all of the... Here, you want to hear... Just got a ping for you having posted, hey, want to hear a hot sauce joke? Where? I posted that ages ago. Anyway... Gonna sleeve up everything from the secret lair and all of our over 30 cents cards, and then I also am going to put make a divider for our Ravnica and put it into this bulk box of mine. But I hope you guys enjoyed this magic opening. We are going to be doing another one here soon with some of these other packs that were on stream today, or I guess on recording today, that we didn't get to. So keep an eye out for that. But I hope that you enjoyed the Sonic secret lair, because that is a kind of fun little opening experience and very limited run. And then also all of the other Ravnica stuff that we opened today as well. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. It helps the channel grow. I'm enjoying doing some of this offline stuff. And as a reminder, if you do want to chat, you can chat in the Twitch chat and it will show up on the YouTube video. But if you want to see the recordings live, it is in the Discord. And you can gain access to the stage channel via either boosting the Discord or the Patreon channel for the content. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Make every day an adventure. Bye-bye!